So, hey guys. Don't mind me, I'm just eating some watermelon because I'm kind of in a time crunch, but I want to film this video because I've been meaning to get on the camera and film in a long time, but I just haven't had the time. I feel kind of bad because I feel like every time I post a video or like I post a few videos, it's like, okay, I'm on a roll, like I'm doing good, you know, like I'm being consistent, but then like the next week something just ends up coming up and then I just don't feel like posting. I don't have the energy. I don't know. But yeah, so this video today, I'm just gonna like go through starting from my first job up to the job that I have now. And I'm just gonna pretty much talk about like my financial situations. I'm gonna talk about like financial aid too with college, because that has been a large source of income for me while I've been a student. So pretty much my entire job history. So let's get into it. I made like a huge list. So there's 20 things on this list, and these are only places that I can actually remember, like that I can like remember working at. So that's 20 different places. So let's get into this, y'all. Let's get into this. Ooh. So my parents came to America from Gambia, West Africa in like 19 something, and they moved over to Seattle, and then they lived here, and they had my older sister, and then they had me and my younger sister, and we lived in Bellevue. We were like middle class, whatever, like we were comfortable. We were on free and reduced lunch, but I mean, my mom always tried to provide for us, and you know, always tried her best to make sure that we had everything that we needed, and my dad did too when he was around. So for me, I started working out of high school because I've just always been very self-sufficient and very independent, and I never liked asking my mom for money because she is such a hard worker. So like I don't like to like ask her for money, so I just started working as soon as I could when I was in high school. I get my first job working, okay, I'm gonna put this down. So I get my first job working at Dairy Queen. I think I was like I was either 14 or 15 when I started working there, and I remember because I was looking for a place to work that hired people who were under the age of 16, because like I couldn't work at McDonald's or Taco Bell because you had to be, I think, 16 or 18 to work there. I worked at Dairy Queen for about like maybe like a year. Once I quit Dairy Queen, I started working at Snowflake Lane, which was like a seasonal job. So every winter they would have like this huge parade and like this huge like festival and like in downtown, like every night from Black Friday to Christmas, and I would perform in that. I know that after the entire season I would end up with like $1,000, and that lasted me like a year when I was young. So I would do, after I quit Dairy Queen, I did Snowflake Lane for like 2 years. Okay, well, so Snowflake Lane I did, I think like 2015, 2016, and maybe 2017. In between doing that, like in between my second to last year of doing Snowflake Lane, I started working at Cinnabon, and at the one in Bellevue Square. I worked there for like a year or two. I worked there for a while. It wasn't a difficult job, but I mean, you have to fucking roll the dough for the goddamn cinnamon rolls, like fucking bake it, decorate it, and sell it, and package it, and clean the entire shop. So like I would like open and close by myself on multiple nights. So you know, like I was a hard worker. Like I had experience working at Dairy Queen, so I was already familiar with like the fast-paced, like fast food area. The light keeps like shifting, so I'm kind of trying to chase it. But here, let me, okay, that's better. So Snowflake Lane, whatever, I did that. But of course it was only seasonal, so I wanted to make more money, and that's why I started working at Cinnabon on the side when I wasn't doing Snowflake Lane. After I did, you know, I was alternating between Snowflake Lane and working at Cinnabon. Then I got a job working at Peaks Frozen Yogurt. That job was probably like the easiest I've ever had. You just have to like sweep, open the place, close the place, you know, fix the machines, clean it. So it was tedious, but it wasn't that hard. Boom, so we're at Peaks Frozen Yogurt. I worked there for about 2 or 3 months. I didn't really like it, and I also ended up getting a job while I was working at Peaks. I got the job at State Farm Insurance, and there I was just answering phone calls, customer service, things like that. And I got that job because I kind of wanted to like shift away from the fast food, like just the food service industry, and that's why I chose to go into like some kind of corporate job, and that's what I was doing, was insurance. Eventually I quit State Farm Insurance and then I stopped doing Snowflake Lane too. I think that was like my last year doing Snowflake Lane. And I quit State Farm Insurance because I think it was just boring and I wanted like a job that paid better and that gave me more hours. Then I went over to McDonald's and I worked at McDonald's for about maybe like 4 or 5 months. I didn't work there for that long because the job was horrible. Like, it was not fun. It was so hard and I didn't feel like I was making enough. And then I remember one day I was supposed to go into work and I just called my boss and I was like, oh, I just broke my arm, I'm going into the ER, I won't be able to come into work. And then I never showed up again. And yeah, so I went and got my last paycheck and I was out of there. And I got a job working at Taco Bell. I worked there for about, how long did I work at Taco Bell? Again, not that long, maybe like about 5 months. When I worked there, I was doing mostly like front of house stuff, like cashier, cleaning, restocking, packaging food to give to people who were getting to-go items. Oh, I did drive-through one time. That shit was so hard. Oh my god, y'all, drive-through is the hardest thing. Like, I did drive-through at Taco Bell and at McDonald's and it was difficult both times. I worked at Taco Bell then for like about 4 months. And then what's next? After that, I quit Taco Bell and my mom was actually working as a manager for a staffing company doing like certified nursing assistant work. So like they would staff CNAs to go into adult nursing homes and like family homes to take care of old people and stuff. I pretty much just did CNA work. I was licensed as an RNA. As an RNA or an NRA, whatever the fuck. It was probably the hardest job I've ever had in my entire life. I did that, I think I probably worked like maybe less than 10 shifts. I mean, each shift was like 8 or 10 hours, so it was a lot of like, they were long shifts. But I was making like decent amount of money where I was like, okay, this is worth it. But then once I started like actually like wiping ass and washing these people and like putting them to bed and changing their clothes and having to take them to the bathroom, like I just realized it wasn't for me. And like, I'm not saying that it's a bad job or anything for anybody who is a CNA, like props to you because it's a lot of hard work. But for me, I just couldn't, like I didn't have the strength to carry the people, like the old people that I was taking care of, like from their chair to the toilet or from their chair to their bed, or I just couldn't really handle like the food that they would eat just didn't look good to me. The smell in the entire adult family home usually wasn't pleasing to me. Like it kind of made me sick. So I just couldn't really work there for very long. All right guys, so I knew of course I would forget one place that I worked at. And I actually forgot to add that I worked at Pho Hoa / Jazz and Tea, which is like a Vietnamese restaurant. And I worked there, I think during my sophomore year. They paid me to, I think it was like $12 an hour. I really don't remember. But yeah, I worked there for about 6 months, and I was just like working there like front desk. I made drinks for people, I cleaned up the table, I would open the store, close the store, and yeah, so that was actually another job that I have to add to this list, but I forgot to include in the video. So after I finished working as a CNA, I didn't work for like a few months again, and instead I just kind of cruised around, you know. I was getting down into the nitty-gritty of like college application stuff was like coming up, so I was trying to focus on that stuff instead of working. And that's kind of where I came across the Microsoft apprenticeship program, and I was just looking for like things to do in my community to get involved. I got some info about it. I found that they were having some informational nights, so I went to the Microsoft store when they were having like informational nights about the Microsoft program, which we called MAP at the time. I went there and I was, you know, super engaged with the managers and the people who like were in the program, and I was there and I learned about it. And then I applied for it, I interviewed, and I ended up getting the position. I was very excited because I was working as an apprenticeship. So I was working as an apprentice. So I was making like $10 an hour, which isn't very good, but you know, I mean, every day after school I would get off of school and then drive to Microsoft and work. So it was really cool to just even be in the space and be in the building. And like the people that I was in the program with were like probably the dopest people I've ever met. And like I'm not in contact with most of them now, but I still talk to a few of them. You know, shout out to y'all if you're watching the video. MAP FY16, I think it was, right? FY16 or 17, it was lit. You know, y'all know what's up. But I mean, that was probably like the first like life-changing job I had that really showed me that there's more besides like working fast food or being a CNA or, you know, just like working these really hard and difficult laborious jobs where they don't pay you that much or give you good benefits. Like I really thought that that's all that there was, like, for me to do. Like for a very long time, that's all that I thought that I could do. So when I first started interning at Microsoft, it was like the coolest thing ever. Like, it was a program based on marketing and sales and like business principles and stuff. So my manager was a business marketing manager, and I just sat near her desk and I did projects for her. That's where I learned how to use like Power BI, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Office. It's like a lot of those like foundational Microsoft skills and tools. And that was a year long, so that lasted for a year. So while I was in high school, I was working at Microsoft. Y'all, I was big balling. Like, I had my little Microsoft badge. Like, I would pull up like all dressed up in my little work outfit thinking I was hot shit. Like, I would literally roll up to orientation. I think like my junior year, I rolled up to orientation with my badge, and I was just like flexing. I was like, hey guys, I'm here, you know, it's 10 a.m. but I have to get to work after this. Like, I was just so like proud to just show off that like I had a job that wasn't, you know, McDonald's or Taco Bell. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just wanted more for myself. So, you know, I was super excited to have achieved that. At least at that level, you know, that was like a really big stepping stone for me. So I was super excited to have gotten that opportunity. And I worked there for a year. That was tons of fun, like so much fun, so much fun. And then after that, during the school year, I worked freaking for Global Insights for like a little bit. I was a contractor. So I was actually still like working for a Microsoft project, but I was working for a different company that was hired to work on the project. If you guys know about like contractor work and stuff like that, that's what I was doing pretty much. So I was working as a researcher for Global Insights, and I mean, I think they paid me like $15 or $16 an hour, I think. It was like lame as shit. Like, I would just do I would collect AI testing data for Microsoft to use to like fix their facial recognition software, whatever. Like, I was doing that, and it was super boring, and it was just some foo-foo lame shit. So Global Insights was not the move for me. So I was there for like maybe 3 or 4 months. I worked there for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it was an odd job. I just waited in the mall and just like asked people to take videos of their face to participate in a research study, and that was it. So that was in between me coming back from Stanford and starting my next internship at Microsoft. So I did that at Global Insights, and then after that I did my high school software engineering internship at Microsoft, and that was the following summer too. So after I came back from Stanford, I worked at Global Insights, and then I went back to Microsoft for their engineering internship. And this was also a really foundational internship for me too. You know, I was able to learn from software engineers and learn about like what actually software engineering was, and I worked 40 hours a week, and I was a blue badge. So if anyone knows, if you work at Microsoft, if you are an FTE, you get a blue badge. And if you are a contractor, you get an orange badge. It's not like anything's better or worse, but I mean, when you're young and like you are a techie, like you want to have that blue badge. So I was so excited to have that badge. And you know, I was working there for the summer. That was really fun. Again, making $15 an hour. I learned a lot, not that much, because I honestly didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, I didn't know how to code back then like that well, or much about tech in general. So I feel like there was definitely a lot more opportunities I could have leveraged at the internship, but I mean, fuck it, we're here now. So yeah. And then after that, I started university at UW. So I was a freshman at UW. The first job that I had working on campus was at the Evans School, the Evans School of Public Policy, and I was a career development assistant, and I worked there just pretty much you know, helping with office tasks, posting job postings on their career websites, you know, doing just day-to-day tasks like that. And I worked there for about a good year, I think. For about a year I worked there, and it it was a fun job. You know, I would come in like, I think like 3 or 4 days out of the week. My boss gave me good hours. She was very flexible. I think it was like 20 hours a week. Oh, and it was through work study. So yeah, my first year I lived on campus and I got a lot of money from the school, but I lived on campus, so it all went towards housing and shit like that. So that's one thing I will say. If you get financial aid and you can live at home, like, you can just live at home and still get the money. So I don't want to advertise that, but like, I'm gonna make a college video later on addressing all that. So after I worked at the Evans School, I worked there for about a year, and then I just got kind of bored like working the office desk job, so I quit that. And then my sophomore year, I started working as a CCRA for the Dream Project, which is like an organization that like helps underserved youth throughout Seattle like get better access to education and things that they otherwise would not have access to. So I was a CCRA, but I worked over at Tyee High School in Tukwila. And I mean, coming from Interlake High School and seeing Tyee High School, I'm just like, wow. Like, it made me so grateful for the education that I received, because like these students that I was like mentoring and working with were so smart and so brilliant, but like their school just did not have any of the resources to even like bring that out, or to even like, you know, offer them the chance to use those skills to really be great students and learn a lot. Like, it just broke my heart, you know. And that's why that was like one of my favorite jobs, because I really enjoyed like just working with the students and helping them like realize, like, you know, like, don't be scared to like go out and tackle things and try different things and go to college. Like, don't be scared, you know, because like a lot of them were just so worried that they wouldn't be smart enough or good enough, or like they couldn't compare to other students coming from other schools going to college, and like they'd be too dumb. And I was just like, yo, listen, like, here's my number, here's my Snapchat, like, call me, text me when you get to UW, like, let's link and I'm gonna help you. Because like it's, I love being a CCRA, and I did that for about a year. So up until my junior year, I was working as a CCRA. And then after that, I quit that job, I think, because I wanted more money, I think, or more hours. So I quit, and then I was working at at this place called Cinnabon. Wait, is it called Cinnabon? No, I'm stupid. It's called Cinnaholic, and they sold cinnamon vegan rolls. Vegan cinnamon rolls. And so that's where I worked for about 6 or 7 months. My sister worked there too, so she plugged me, I got the job. That job was hard as shit too, and the boss was an asshole. Like, she was rude as shit. And so I didn't stay there for very long. I left that place, and then I pretty much just like applied for a job at Apple, like to work in store, because I was just bored and I wanted to make some money, but I didn't know where to work, and I wasn't trying to work in food or on campus. And I applied, I didn't hear back, and then like, I think like 3 or 4 months, well actually, so I had applied for a role at the Apple store, and then I also applied for a role as a campus rep, working for Apple at UW, and that was like a $15 an hour pay too. And so I was doing that. Well, I had applied for that, but I didn't hear back about that either. And then 4 months later, you get a phone call like, oh hey, this is the Apple campus rep program, like, we want to interview you. And I was like, oh, bet. Excuse me. So I went through the interview process with them, and then I ended up getting the job working as a campus rep for Apple. I was in my junior year of college. You know, it was actually a really fun job. They flew us out to Cupertino the first week of the program, and we got to like tour the whole campus, and like we got great benefits. I got a free phone from them, which I lost, but you know, we had a lot of really awesome benefits and cool tech gadgets, and we had a lot of reach and networking opportunities, and it was a really fun job. Like, it was a cool job. So I enjoyed being a campus rep, and I did that for a year until I was, I guess, laid off, you could say. They just terminated my position at the university because there was no longer a campus store. So we were no longer selling Apple like products on campus. So they snipped my job, and I was pretty much laid off. So this was my junior year, the end of my junior year. I have one more update. So I forgot, I actually worked at another job too. I also worked at Domino's, and that was after when I was working at Cinnaholic. I also picked up some shifts at Domino's just because like You know, I wanted to try it out and see if it paid more, and it actually did pay like a lot, but it was hard work. Like it was just a lot of driving. I may have been working at Domino's the same time that I was working at Apple, now that I think about it. I don't know, y'all. I've had so many jobs, as you can see. I can barely even keep track. So after that, the pandemic began, and I wasn't working. And then I started working at the Amazon Go grocery store, at the newest one in Capitol Hill. And I worked there for about 6 months too. That job was also really hard. They paid me like $16 an hour. It wasn't fun. Like, it was just so much technology involved with the grocery store. It was just like, what the fuck? And like, it was just too much work. They had hazard pay, which was like $18 an hour instead of 16, which was nice, but I mean, the job was still hard as shit. And they also gave us like a $200 bonus, I think, which was nice, but like, I mean, like when they cut your hours and then all they give you is a $200 bonus like a month later, it's like, what the fuck? So that was irritating. And I quit that job because I just couldn't stand working there. And then I was just doing, I was doing Uber and Lyft on the side. So I would just drive Lyft, I would drive Uber, I would do Instacart too. So I would deliver groceries. And I did that for until like the end of this year, until the end of last year, I would say, because it's 2021. Yeah, so until about the end of last year, that's what I was doing to make money, was Uber, Lyft, Instacart. And I was also doing some like web development sides on the job. Like I was doing some web development jobs on the side. So I would like develop some websites for people. They would pay me, and I was making like a little bit of money like that. I would also do people's homework and they would pay me, making money like that. So now I'm not working. I'm just in between, just chilling. Like I said, you know, I'm getting support from the government and also from school. So I'm doing well in terms of paying housing and eating and all that stuff. You know, we're good there. My job that I will be working at is as a software engineer intern at Disney. I honestly can't believe like the words coming out of my mouth. It still shocks me. Like, I'm gonna be a software engineer intern at Disney. And I have been working for this probably since my internship at Microsoft ended, so like since the end of my freshman year. My job history has just been all over the place, but I can say that I'm grateful for every single position that I've ever had, because it's probably prepared me for, you know, where I'm at right now, and I don't even know it, you know? Like doing the hard work and grinding, you know, working at McDonald's, Taco Bell, fucking as a CNA, fucking customer service, fucking, I just done everything. And like, I'm finally like where I want to be. And obviously I haven't started my internship yet. I haven't gotten my full-time offer yet, because that's my goal. Like, that's what I need to like be like, okay, mama, I made it. Like, once I get that offer, like my full-time offer, like, I'll know I made it. But anyways, until then, I'm interning for the summer, and I'm very, very, very happy about that. Yeah, this is where I'm at now. I went from making like, what, like maybe 10K, well, 10K a year, 1K some years, to, well, obviously when I was like 16, I was making like 1K. But like, from making like 10K a year to making like 70K a year, like that salary from being in that range is insane. So, you know, I'm very happy to be here now. I'm so excited to start at Disney this summer, and I'm really hoping that I can flip that internship and turn it into, you know, turn it into a full-time job, because that's what I need to really like take care of my family and take care of my family's family and my family's family, if you know what I mean. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Obviously, like, I love tech and I love engineering and STEM and all that stuff, so I really enjoy you know, software engineering, and I'm glad that it comes with a big paycheck, and I think it's well deserved. You know, it's hard work. It's not easy being an engineer, doing STEM, doing CS, doing data science. It's not easy. And you know, engineers put in a lot of hard work and thought and stuff into their work. So like I said, my internship isn't like my permanent job, but it's like I went from making, like, from having a job that would pay me 10K a year to having a job that's not gonna pay me over like 70K a year. So I'm super, super happy about that. And I kind of just want to like say all of this to say, like, you know, take your time with things. Like, don't rush yourself, don't pressure yourself to like do something or go for an opportunity that you feel like you're not ready for, like take your time. Maybe you want to work at McDonald's and maybe that's where you are supposed to be for like the first 2 or 3 years of your life. Or like maybe you want to be a waitress or like a bartender, or you want to be a janitor, or like whatever the fuck you want to do. Like I think it's okay to like do that, like do what you want. It's okay. And like just take your time and just really try and educate yourself in that final role that you really want to have in life. Like really try and figure out what that is, and then figure out how you can work towards it. So like me, I figured out I want to be a software engineer, or I want to do something in tech, and I want to make this much amount of money. I know that I'm going to need an education. I know that I'm going to need some resume, like a good resume to back me up, and I know I'm going to need some projects to show that I can, like, you know, walk the talk. I can walk the talk, walk it, to show that I can walk the talk or talk the walk. Walk it like I talk. Walk the talk. Yeah, walk the talk. Okay. To show them that I can walk the talk, you know, I have to make projects. I have to have an education, like a 4-year education or something like that. And that's what I've done, you know. Like I've gotten that. Well, I'm about to graduate next in June. So I'm about to graduate. You know, I've gotten my degree, or I'm getting it. I have so many projects to show for on my GitHub, and my resume is, you know, it's great. I have some great references that I could pull from if I need, you know, any kinds of reference letters or stuff. So it's like I've been working towards this for a very long time, and I'm honestly shocked that I still have it, just because I've just faced so much rejection. But you know, that's it, y'all. That's it for my little job history video. I just wanted to come and post on here because I've been meaning to post for a while, but like I just haven't been in the mood, and like I just haven't been like feeling like getting all dressed up and picking up my camera, and I finally did it. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you have any questions about any of the jobs that I had at any of the places that I worked at, let me know. If my lipstick looks crazy, let me know, because I can't see my face, even though I won't be able to do anything about it. But I mean, whatever, we can both laugh about it in the comments. So yeah, that's it. I'll be posting more job related content videos in the future, software engineering related stuff, GitHub resume stuff. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you will, because I'm making videos about it in the future. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a beautiful day. I hope you learned something, and comment something in the comments. Comment where was the first place you worked, and what is your dream job. Let's have a conversation. Like I want to hear like where are the first places you've worked, where's the worst place you've worked, where's the best place you've worked, like what's your dream job. Like, you know, let's talk, let's figure out how we can like motivate each other to reach each other's goals, and to just fucking just be badass bitches, just fucking independent boss ass women, if you know what I'm saying. So y'all comment, like this video, and I'll see you guys next week.